Hi guys, and welcome back to I'll Read What She's Reading. I'm Mikayla.
I'm Reggie.
And I'm Kennedy.
And today we have a special guest with us today.
Those of you,
Gemma.
Yes, those of you on the YouTube are getting a special treat.
Yeah, I thought she would be fine if she just laid down. She's normally very chill, but she just wants me to hold her right now. So
She wants her mom.
Hopefully she doesn't make any squeaky baby noises during the middle of it.
You know, if she does,
She probably will just be passed out.
It's
But
precious.
she just wants her mommy.
Awesome. Okay, and today we are talking about our book club book, Bride by Ali Hazelwood. And before we get into it, we're going to announce our April book club book of the month, and that is
The Reappearance of Rachel Price by Holly Jackson.
Yes.
We love Holly Jackson.
It's like a thriller.
Yes, a young adult thriller, and I think all of us have read all of her other books.
She does have like a novella
Oh,
that I don't think any of us have read.
I started reading it and then I said no.
Well, because it takes place before.
Yeah, it's
the
before.
Good Girls Guide to Murder series.
It's called Killjoy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they're at a murder mystery party.
Oh. But also, on the topic of her, A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, I think they started filming. I'm very excited about that.
I thought that it was like ready to come out soon.
Maybe it is ready to come out.
They just started filming.
Regardless,
I feel like they've been filming a while.
we have gotten screen grabs from the show, and it looks
we've gotten screen
incredible.
grabs.
Yeah, Pip and
I
Ravi.
know who they are, like who the actors are, but
Yeah,
yeah,
Pip-
if you see those, will you send them to me?
Yes.
Because I want to see like
Yes.
little screen grabs.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I'm
to see
excited
it.
too.
I thought it was like coming out this year. Maybe
Let me
I'm
look.
making shiz up.
Let me look.
But
Regardless, we're reading Holly Jackson's new book for the month of April, and I'm excited about it. I've liked all of her other books.
Yeah.
this one sounds fun
It's
too
gonna be
because it's
fun.
about like a. Yeah, you can read the synopsis. I won't read it for you, but it seems really fun. All of her books that we've read, we've all enjoyed. So can't wait.
Yep. All right, let's get into Bride.
I can't wait to talk about it. And I just can't wait to hear, like, I meant to go look on Fable before we started recording to see, like, the end discussion that people were having. And I forgot to go do that. But, yeah. We haven't said much to each other, I feel like.
No, but my
No.
first question is, so Mikayla and I have read other Ali Hazelwood books, but this is Reggie's first experience with Ali Hazelwood.
Very first.
So from this book, what are your thoughts on Ali Hazelwood as an author? Because it's very...
Would you say it's different from her other books, like her writing?
Yes.
Because I mean, I know it's different from her other books because it's has that fantasy element to it.
Yes, but it was interesting because Misery still technically is in STEM because she codes.
Yeah.
So there's still that kind of element from all her other books because all the other ones, the female main character's in STEM, right?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, what were your thoughts on her as an author?
Okay, Mikayla made a comment.
I'm so
And-
sorry.
No, it's okay. And that's just kind of how I feel about her but I don't know if maybe it's just because of the plot. It kind of felt like fan fiction to me.
Yeah, because I feel like this was for all the Wattpad people that are on the Omegaverse.
Seriously.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like her writing was bad at all. It felt fan fiction-y to me. Yeah. There was just something about it that the writing was not my favorite, but I can't decide if it was like the writing itself or if it just was because of what the plot was. So that's why I don't know.
I feel like for me it's the plot that I didn't like as much.
Yeah, I could see that.
I don't know. It just was a very, I don't know, reaching plot.
I think there were a lot of little plot holes, yes, but also I don't know. I saw someone's TikTok before I started reading this book, and they said romance readers who don't read fantasy will like it, and fantasy readers who read romance won't like it. And I can see how you can make that relation. I kind of loved the aspect of like the supernatural magic side in a rom-com, because it kind of was like a meshing of my two favorite genres. But it did feel a little bit like fan fiction. Yeah. But I kind of feel like that was the point, almost.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of what she was going for.
I just can't put my finger on I think it might have been the plot, but there was just, the whole time I was reading this book, I'm like, what is it that I dislike about this? Because in my review, I said I was entertained the entire time, but I couldn't wait to be done with the book. Like there was just something about it I absolutely hated, but I don't know what it was.
Mikayla, you need to share what you said about the book before we started recording.
I'm sorry. I said, well, because
to circle back to that.
Yeah. I said it was like an R-rated Disney show.
That's a good way to describe it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe it just like I can imagine the script for this. And you know how Disney, like their shows are just a little cheesy with their lines and their scripts. Yeah, it
could be like a Disney Channel original movie that's on TV in the present day.
Yep. Yeah. Here's some things that I did like about it. I liked the banter, you know, like the grumpy sunshine kind of vibes. And I liked that it was different than what I feel like I've read in a hot second. But there's something the plot for me was just so out of left field. I just couldn't get through the plot. I couldn't make sense of it.
I feel like the beginning for me, I was like, okay, this is cool. I like this concept. But the more I kept reading, it was just losing me.
Yeah.
So wait, what was everyone's rating?
I rated it 4 stars.
I rated it 3.
Mine's 3.5.
So 3.5 average from all three of us.
That's I probably would go back and rate it 3.
I think part of the reason I rated it 4 was because I was reading not high fantasy, but I was reading so many complex fantasy books right before it that I felt like a breath of fresh air to have something that was just so cut and dry and just easy and so fast paced. I think I read it in a day and a half. So it just was like entertaining and enjoyable. Would I ever read it again? No. Would I ever recommend anyone read it? I don't think so.
I don't know if I would either. I'd have to know their taste very well. Like it would have to be someone I'm close enough with, like you two, because I feel like I understand your guys' taste. I don't know,
but the rest of her books are not like that.
No,
at all. They're very different.
Are they pretty spicy?
No, because I feel like this one was the spiciest one.
I mean, I know some people will come at us and be like, this book was not that spicy, because some people just really like to read for spice, but I would say this is probably the spiciest book that we have chosen as a no.
I would say Fourth Wing was spicier.
You think?
Yeah. I feel like the spicy scenes, there was more in Fourth Wing. There was only 1.5.
Like 2.
There was only 1.5 in this one.
There's like 4.
What?
5. Yeah.
I felt like this one was the spiciest we've had. Because Fourth Wing, there's no spice to like towards
you're right. There's
25% of the last part of the book is literally all spice.
Yeah, because it's like
you're
the
right.
bathtub,
Okay, yes.
the plane, the
office,
closet, the different times they talk about the thing that we'll talk about later. Yeah, maybe it's just like the way that the spicy scenes were written. I was like, this might be the spiciest book we've picked.
I will say I don't enjoy the way she writes spicy scenes.
I agree.
Same.
They're a little cringy to me.
Yes.
Yeah. In all of her books, I feel like that's kind of a very common thing. The other common thing that I want to talk about in her books, for some reason, at some point in all of her books that I've personally read, her female main characters wear something incredibly quirky.
Yeah.
And in this one, it was like a galaxy t-shirt. Did you guys catch that?
I didn't really catch that.
Yeah, she just wears like t-shirts.
No, it literally is described as a galaxy t-shirt. In one of her books, she wears galaxy leggings. In another one that I read, she wears some crazy socks. And then in this one, she wears some galaxy weird t-shirt. It's just something she does that I think is kind of interesting.
I wish I would have read one of her other books before I read this one to be able to like compare. But it's not too late for me to still do that. But
I would still recommend her other books. I think her other books, well, I liked one of her other books better.
Didn't you say in your review, though? Oh, I thought you said in your review that this was your favorite.
Oh, maybe I did.
You did.
Then I take it back. Then it was my favorite when I wrote it. So I'm going to stick with that. I read this book 2 weeks ago.
I could have read your review
This
wrong,
is probably
but
my second to least favorite book of hers. I've read every single one of hers. And the concept of this was very interesting, but definitely not my favorite of hers. All right. Well, we've kind of already said like our least faves.
Well, let's talk about the elephant in the room that we haven't talked about. That was probably my least favorite part of the entire book.
The knot.
The knot of it all.
I kept seeing I cannot.
I was like, okay, I gotta stop with the puns. I gotta stop. I know that there's a lot of Wattpad readers that really appreciated that element. I know there's a lot of people out there that loved that element of the book. And it was funny because I feel like Ali on her TikTok used the knot to advertise her book a lot.
Oh, did she?
I vividly remember her walking. There's a TikTok of her walking through the airport and the text on the screen says the knot has made it in the airport. So I think it's kind of, I don't know. I think it's almost kind of like not a joke to her, but it was just funky.
It was something to get people to talk about the book. I mean, all the TikToks I saw about this book
were about the knot.
Were about that element, yeah.
Oh, I guess I jump scare for me because I did not see anything about that. It honestly just like really I was just like,
took you by surprise?
Took me by surprise, and it took me out of the story.
Me too.
I just could not like take it seriously.
Mm-hmm.
And I could care less about that whole situation. Cause I was like, oh, this is sexy. Like they're like, he hates her, but he doesn't want to like her. And then, he brings up, this is getting a little PG-13. He brings up like, I can't have sex with you. And I was like, huh?
I was so confused.
And then she described, the thing. And I was really confused what was going on. But Reggie apparently looked it up. And
yeah. Okay. So on TikTok, I was seeing a lot of TikToks about this. Like, you Google what the knot means in Bride. And I knew we were going to be reading that book. And I was like, I don't know if this is going to spoil the book for me, but I want to know what this is before I read the book. And so I did. I looked it up. And then I didn't know that that's what it was called, but I remember one of my neighbors mentioning that like dogs do that sometimes forever ago. And so then it like kind of clicked with me. So I was like, oh, interesting. And then I just kept that in the back of my mind while I was reading. So I wasn't necessarily confused. Like when he said we can't do that, I was like, oh, it's because I Googled that and I understand what it means, even though they hadn't said that yet, but had I not Googled that, I probably would have been confused because I mean, it's a thing that dogs do. So I guess if he's a werewolf, that would make sense.
But wouldn't that only make sense if he was in like form, like if he was in
were form?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because isn't everything else the same about, I don't know. I guess that's just why I know there's like, I didn't know that there was like a whole Omegaverse, but
I read that part and two of my 3 dogs were sleeping next to me. And I just looked at them. And honestly, I was a little icked out by my dogs for like a good hour. Because I was just like, this is just so weird. I don't know. It was not my favorite part.
Yeah, that was probably my
It was like my least favorite part of
It
it.
was
I just
my
felt
least
like it
favorite part.
lingered. The concept of it just lingered a
Mhm.
little too long for me. I wouldn't have been as fazed by it if it was like just a quick little, I don't know. But I understand that like for the plot purposes, I don't know. It was just interesting.
It was not even a part of the plot. Nope. Because the plot was all about his sister, her best friend.
Mm-hmm.
It was not necessary. It wasn't needed.
Kind of switching gears now.
Okay. ADHD twins.
Yeah. Sorry. Did this not kind of remind you of Bryson Hunt?
Oh, I was just going to say, this book kind of gave me Crescent City vibes.
One of my updates was, this is giving Bryson Hunt, because the whole time I just thought to myself, okay, we're trying to find this best friend. Two, like, quote, species who are not supposed to like each other, not supposed to be together. I think I've read this before. Yeah, it just was very similar.
I was feeling that.
I guess I didn't really feel that, but now that you pointed out, I do see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And also, like, from the very beginning, once they mentioned mates, I was like, bruh. Mates? They're mates.
Mm-hmm.
I, like, knew it
I
from
thought
the
they were going to
beginning.
say like imprint.
Twilight.
You know, like Twilight.
Imprint. I imprinted. You imprinted on my daughter?
I'm interested to know, any of you guys listening to this, did any of you read this book and think that the werewolf sent to the vampire territory was Lo's mate at any point? Because I did not. The entire time I was like, okay, Misery and Lo are mates.
Yeah.
100%.
But I still don't understand how they were mates. Because they kind of made it sound the whole book that like only werewolves can be mates with werewolves. So then I was thinking, like, is she like part werewolf?
No.
But I just don't understand how they could be mates if they're different species. And I don't feel like that was really talked about.
it wasn't.
I think
And I would have liked some sort of explanation.
I feel like it's with other mates, though. If you think about, like, all the other books you've read, a bunch of mates, they're not the same species. I think it's just, like,
Yeah.
a given.
I guess maybe it's just, I don't know. I mean, I knew from the beginning that they, yeah. But
I don't know. Maybe it will be talked about in the second book.
is there going to be a second book then?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She actually has came out. I watched an interview when she was advertising the book. She went on a tour, obviously. And someone asked her about the second book. And she
So it's
said,
going to be about,
yeah, it'll be about Serena and Cohen.
Yeah.
I think is his name.
Mm-hmm.
She said that it's not the next book she's going to write, but she is still going to continue on in this world.
Yeah.
Which
Maybe-
honestly, I'm kind of excited about.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued.
It was interesting to get his, like, perspective on, like, what happened when he, like, smelled her.
Okay, I wrote down in my notes because I just thought I was screaming. On chapter 14, his dialogue is, "She tastes the way she smells," and I screamed because I'm pretty sure that's right before the airplane chapter, maybe.
Yeah.
Wait.
Which that was really something.
What?
Yeah, his dialogue at the beginning of chapter 14 is,
Oh, I was
She-
talking about Cohen's POV.
Oh.
Like, him smelling Serena.
oh,
Sorry. I got confused.
oh,
but,
yeah.
like,
Well, it was in Lo's
Lo's
point of view.
point of
Yeah.
view for
Cohen.
Yeah. Thought that was cool. But yeah,
was
that
cool.
was good. That was the beginning of chapter 14.
Yeah.
How did we survive without you, Reggie?
We don't.
I feel like, well, I don't know, we can bounce to something else. Hold on. Where's my, okay. I have a few random little thoughts. First, I think one element to this book that just really just kind of made it feel, I don't know, silly, was just the fact that her name was Misery.
I hated that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, really? Her brother's name is Owen and her name is Misery. Okay.
Well-
just found it interesting.
It's because
Well, they do say
she
why.
killed her mom.
Yeah, the vampire, they don't name their kids. It's like the vampire council names them. And because she killed her mom, she was named Misery, which is horrible.
Yeah, absolutely. You think she would go by something else? You know what I
Yeah.
don't know. Anyways.
Well, she went by Miss, like in the
That's-
human world.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I was really confused about the whole political world building aspect of this book. I don't feel like like the whole collateral thing. Honestly, I didn't quite understand it, but maybe I'm just dumb.
The collateral
But-
is just like if they do something stupid, that they can kill the person they're holding hostage, pretty much.
It would be like
It's keeping them accountable to not
Yeah.
do stupid things against each other.
Mm-hmm.
But it was poorly.
Kind of poorly explained.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was trying to figure it out the whole book. I kept being like, wait, what does this mean? But, I mean, I was also doing a lot of this reading at like 4 a.m. So, yeah. But, another thing I was going to say, this was just another element that I was like, I don't know why I was thinking so hard about this, but the fact that when his little sister gets the flu, I was like, how did this girl get the flu? If she's hanging out with werewolves who cannot catch these sicknesses and illness, how did she get the flu? I don't know. I was just overthinking it, but I thought about it so much. I'm like, how would she have gotten the flu?
It's very interesting. I wonder if people they could pass it though. Because like, yeah.
I guess they were with humans a little bit.
Because I mean, think about it. You can carry sicknesses without presenting symptoms.
Yeah.
But I mean, I didn't think
far-fetched.
I didn't think about that when I read the book, but then you brought it up, and yeah, that makes.
I don't know.
Sense.
I just kept thinking. She's like, she probably has the flu. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know why I thought that was kind of silly, but
I could see it though.
for some reason I had to just like make a little note of that because it made me giggle.
No, I think
I
it's
felt
valid.
sad that she was sick. Don't get me wrong, but it just made me giggle. She's like, she needs Tylenol. I'm like,
No, I think it was a great thing to write down.
You know, the more we talk about this and the more I think about this book, it was very outrageous. When you really sit and think about everything that happened, it was so outrageous. But once again, I think that was kind of the point. It wasn't supposed to be super realistic. I don't know.
well, and to go along with my little comment about how I was hyperfixating on her being sick, like the fact at the end of the book when Serena turns into a werewolf and bites the lady or whatever, and then the next chapter is literally Misery hyperfixating on the fact that what happened to their clothes when they turned into a werewolf. She's like, her pink shirt just like dangling from her neck. It just made me laugh because they didn't show that scene. It just cuts to like her talking about what happened to her clothes. I thought that was just, it was just,
You think
kind of
she would
funny.
have put that together because there was that other were that was just strolling around naked after she was a werewolf?
Oh yeah.
You think she would have put that together because it literally is like, this is awkward, you're naked. And she just had come back from the woods.
I think that when you read this book, you just have to take everything so unseriously.
Yeah.
Because if not,
Also, where was this located? Because they talked about geography so like normally. But
Yeah,
I'm
because
like,
they're like, we're flying to California.
but then like, where territory and vampire territory.
Well, and then it's like it only took him like, so when he goes to go get the medicine for her in the human territory, it takes him less than an hour to leave and go grab medicine and then come back. So I know it's really close, but they talked about where territory being how I kind of pictured Twilight, honestly. You know, like how they're in the woods and there's like a lake. I kind of pictured it, you know, woodsy lake. But then the vampire territory, human territory, was they talk about skyscrapers because they say that the nest is like the tallest building in the city. So it's kind of hard for me to see how that fits together. But then they're like, we're flying to California. I couldn't figure it out. I was almost thinking it was like Seattle-ish.
yeah, I could see that. Yeah. But it's almost like, because the only time she mentioned a state was when they said they were flying to California.
well, then Europe.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
he
'cause
lived in Europe.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering why those two times, why she decided to actually name something, because if she would have just said we're flying to go meet so and so, or he went to college abroad or something, it would have made more sense. It would have felt less realistic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just I mean, this I think is her first like book where she's introducing elements like that. So maybe she just hasn't really gotten it all figured out, and I could see how it definitely would bug fantasy readers because a lot of things just don't add up. And also, if they like, I know this sounds so stupid, but if she would have added like a map,
Yeah,
at the beginning explaining like weir territory, vampire territory, and like human territory, I feel like that would have made things like make more sense.
Yeah.
but I mean, once again, I think this is probably maybe why we weren't absolutely obsessed, is because we read fantasy so much. You know what I mean? Like, we just know what it maybe could have been if it would have been a little more fleshed out, and that's just not what it was. You know what I mean?
I just feel like fantasy authors, like strictly fantasy authors, they understand how to tie everything together and call back things and write things out to make everything make sense. I think it would be really hard to be someone who writes contemporary like romance and then write fantasy. I mean, we kind of saw that with Rebecca Yarros. But doesn't mean it's a bad book. It's just that when you read so much fantasy and then jump into something like this, you ask way too many questions.
Yeah.
But
I think you're so right about like you just have to take everything so unseriously with this book. And I think she just left. Maybe she'll really like get good feedback and be like, maybe I need to explain some things better in the next book for like Serena and Cohen.
Or maybe she won't, because she's like, I'm not a fantasy writer. This is a paranormal romance, and I don't care.
Yeah.
She's here for the good times and the love story, and that's it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Is it paranormal?
That's what it's listed as, paranormal romance.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Not fantasy. So I think that's where it's hard, because we've seen,
Yeah.
But a map, like you said, a map would have been.
Yeah, even
Wonderful.
just of those territories.
Yeah.
It makes me curious though, if it's, it is in the United States, how it works within the other states.
Yeah. And with,
How
like,
the political system works overall as a country.
Yeah. The one thing that I think Ali Hazelwood does really good with is witty banter.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really genuinely enjoyed the banter between the female main character and the male main character in almost every single one of her books. I just think I think Misery was a really funny character,
Mm-hmm.
and I think it was funny how like serious Lowen was. She was just like a funny goofy girl. Sometimes I hate it, but I feel like she did it well in this book.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got her vibe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
I also liked her joking with I think his name was Alex.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I thought that was so funny. I just really I liked that she was like a part of the pack.
Yeah.
Me too.
I will say I liked all the characters individually, but I will say this will be the last dislike I would say about this book. I didn't feel a lot of chemistry between Lo and Misery. You guys can tell me if I feel like in the spicy scenes it was ooh, but I just felt like the way their relationship developed, it was fine, but there was just something about the actual chemistry part of it. I liked how their story progressed, but the chemistry part of it, I just I don't know. It felt a little off to me. And I thought I was the only one thinking that, but then after I wrote my review, I was reading reviews and a lot of people said the same thing. But
I could see
I don't
that.
know.
I just think it's because he was fighting the want, because he repeated so many times that he did not want to force anything if it was not reciprocated, especially between
Yeah.
mates. And so I think he was putting up a little stony exterior, and I think Misery, being the character that she was trying everything to she's just so unserious about things, and she was just, you know, being herself. But I could see your like point. I just think I understood from the very beginning that they were mates, and he was doing everything possible to not.
Yeah. I guess I understood that. I just wanted to root for them a little bit more, and I felt like I was kind of just, I don't know.
I think it's hard because I didn't have the same exact thing. I wouldn't say I don't think they have chemistry, because the one scene that comes to mind is like when they're on the roof together and they're having that moment and they're sharing things that they've never shared with other people before. Like that to me was like, oh, okay, they're opening up towards each other, especially more Low than Misery. But I think it's hard when, for such a short book, because it was only like 375 pages. For such a short book, I think it's hard to tackle all the characters that were there, the world building, the plot, the romance. Somewhere something had to falter, and there were little things in all those aspects that faltered. So maybe that's one of the places where she probably could have spent a little more time, is maybe developing that chemistry for you. But I think I agree with Mikayla in the aspect of like he just was trying to distance himself, but there was a lot of sexual tension, a lot of sexual chemistry, and maybe that's why I felt content, was because there was sexual chemistry, maybe not emotional. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what it was. There's just so many things about this book that I can't quite put my finger on. But I mean, I was entertained the entire time. It was just like, I don't know. There's just something about the plot. Just very different.
I get it.
But I did love that, like, some of the things that I did love, that they all had different colors of blood. Yeah. I thought that was really interesting. Like a cool
The vampires are
element.
Purple.
and
The werewolves
Green.
are green.
And then humans are red.
that is very interesting to me.
But that's exactly how I would picture. Like if you think about a werewolf's blood, like what color would come to mind? Green would come to mind for me.
Everything just is
Honestly,
red to me,
I would
but-
probably say purple,
Really?
because I don't know, I associate red with vampires. Like the color red is like, you know, I don't know, maybe because it suck blood.
Maybe.
Maybe.
One of the things that I loved and that I thought was so cute was the way Lo interacted with kids. At the wedding, when the were kid and the vampire kid were fighting over a toy, and he immediately stepped in and was just this, almost not like goofy, but the way he helped that situation, I was screaming because I thought it was so cute. And the way he was with his sister, I mean, the grumpy guy that is only soft with his baby sister.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
I could definitely relate to Misery when it came to kids.
Yeah.
Like you love them so much, but like,
Stop touching me.
yeah.
And she says at one point, like, tell her your sister, she's annoying, but like I still like kind of like her or something. And of course, like the little sister's gonna be obsessed with her, even though she doesn't act upset. Yeah. I thought that was fun.
What did she call her? It was like the same right letters but wrong. Something. It was just cute. Mrs. I don't know. Anyways, it was cute. That whole dynamic between the three of them was just, I thought it was adorable.
It was pretty cute. All right, should we get into our fan casting?
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like mine kind of sucks, but I also really like it at the same time. Sorry, my baby's dreaming.
She's making some baby noises.
Let's start with Misery.
Misery.
All right.
I suck at fan cast, so I just let Reggie and Mikayla do all the work for this part.
I think we've probably picked her a time or two in past episodes for things, but she was just the first one that came to my mind because I could see her being a very good vampire. Sabrina Carpenter.
Ooh. Actually, yeah, I could see that. Because in the same interview where Ali was saying this about the second book in this world, someone asked her, because she always writes petite women.
Yeah.
And someone asked her about it, and she basically was just like, sorry, I just write really large men. So Sabrina Carpenter's pretty petite. I could see that.
Yeah. I just feel there's just something about her personality that I could see her bring that to the character of like the witty, sarcastic kind of vibe.
Yeah, I like it. I have no idea who this person is. But it says that she's an actress. So her name's Breck Basinger.
Ooh, she's pretty.
She kind of does look a little bit like Sabrina Carpenter-ish.
Yeah, just
she got the round,
fangs
cute
on
face.
Those teeth.
I don't know. I was just looking at blonde actresses. And the thing is, I feel like everyone casts Sabrina Carpenter into everything. Yeah. And so I was just trying to pick people that are not as well known.
Yeah.
That I think fit the role.
Yeah, I could see her. I could see either of those working.
Yeah.
Depending on the budget of the film.
That's what it's all about.
I feel like they wouldn't need a big budget for this film.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, if they can do Twilight.
I sure hope they have better CGI.
Oh, yeah.
That baby in Twilight is a jump scare.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Renesmee.
All right, Low. You guys have one for Low?
You guys might think this is so bad, and I feel like it probably would be kind of bad, but like because of the vibes I got from this book, kind of feeling, and this is probably why I kind of thought of Sabrina Carpenter too. Not that Sabrina Carpenter or like any of these actors or actresses are bad. They're great. But there's just something about like the kind of films they've been in, like their past, that make me feel kind of like DCOM, Disney Channel original movie vibes, you know? Noah Centineo for Low.
Okay, you want to know what? I did see him because I Googled actors with a buzz cut. He did show up.
Is he the ideal guy for what she was picturing in this book? No. But based off the vibes I got from this book, I'm like, Noah Centineo.
Yeah, okay.
I know it sounds bad because you want him to be like a little, I don't know. People really like him. I just thought it was, the people I cast were just giving that Disney Channel.
Yeah, I get that.
Okay. Turned to, we're moving to Netflix vibe. Kissing booth.
Yeah. No, it's I'll tell you I love you, but
to all the boys I love you.
Yeah.
Mine's kind of unhinged. Okay. Mikayla.
It was a little hinge. I also forgot that for Misery, I also put Olivia Holt as another fan cast for her.
I like your first girl better than Olivia Holt.
I love Olivia Holt so much. She hasn't been in like anything recently, but
she was in Endless Summer. No,
Cruel Summer. Yeah, but that got canceled.
Yeah, sad.
Anyways, okay. Low. I did Archie Renat. I don't know how to say his name. He is in Shadow and Bone.
Ooh,
I like him.
Yeah.
If you've seen Shadow and Bone, he's just kind of, I don't know how to describe it. He's got a buzz cut.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't know how tall he is, but he seems like he's like a larger human in Shadow and Bone. He's probably like 6'1", 6 feet.
Probably. Well, yeah, because the main character in Shadow and Bone, she's really petite.
I would guess he's around like 6 feet.
Should I look at it?
He could do it. He could do it. I like yours for Reggie for Disney Channel.
Oh, he's 6'1". You were right.
Okay, yeah. I was gonna say he looks around that height. He could work.
Yeah, how tall is he supposed to be? Like 7 feet?
He's huge, but no one's 7 feet.
No, unless you do, Jacob Lordy.
You know, he's just gonna be in every book adaptation, I guess.
He's the next Sam Claflin.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
He truly is.
The next one I did was for Owen.
Same.
And I did Rudy Pinko.
Love him.
He'd
He'd be good.
Ooh, you know,
because he's supposed to be
Yeah.
kind of like unserious, but then serious at the same time. I don't know. That's the only reason why I cast him, was just because of his personality in this book.
Yeah, I like that better than mine. I literally just came up with this random person. I don't even think he'd be good, but for some reason he came to my mind, and then I was like, cool, I'll pick him. It was Ansel Elgort.
Oh my gosh.
Don't ask me why. I'm not saying
Yours
it's a good option.
Yours is very unhinged. I like it.
It wouldn't be good with who I was like with the people I've already picked, but for some reason his face came to my brain. I don't know.
Yeah,
But if you need a Disney cast, I mean, I could come up with someone. Ross Lynch.
he's fine.
But I guess it doesn't have dark. He could pass off with dark hair.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just make a Disney Channel cast for every fan cast we do now.
All right. I love
Anyways,
it.
did you have any other ones?
No, I didn't come up with any others.
I mean, who I pictured for the dad was Carlisle off of Twilight.
You kind of like can't help but do
He's
that.
just a vampire dad.
he's a
you know?
vampire dad.
I mean, we could say Taylor Lautner is low, but
Yeah.
short king.
We love a short.
I mean, yeah.
But
and then his wife be Misery.
You know,
Taylor.
if she like dyed her blonde, that could work.
That's great.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to see that.
Well, I'm sorry if that was a little too
don't
unhinged.
want to see this be a movie.
Oh, I was thinking that the whole time I was reading this. I was like, I could not imagine this being a movie.
I think I've said this before. Sometimes I wonder, you know, with Emily Henry's books becoming movies and like the ACOTAR or whatever, sometimes I just worry that the dialogue in books will come across so cringy in movies.
Mm-hmm.
This one, yeah, it would just be very unserious.
Cut out 30% of the book.
You could have it be rated R. HBO could do it.
I don't want that.
I don't want that either.
I just Can you imagine watching that?
No.
No, I was getting a little bit of like secondhand embarrassment for each of them.
It was too.
You want to know what, guys? I'll just be honest. I did tell my mom about it. I told my mom about the plot of this book.
What did your mom have to say?
What kind of books do you read, Kennedy? And then she goes, she did say, she's like, it's going to take me the whole afternoon to stop thinking about it and stop picturing that. I'm like, I'm sorry. I had to tell someone. And Kyle also was like, what are you reading? Because I told him about it. And
I will
he was just,
not be repeating this. Only to you guys. I will not tell any of my other friends about it. I had a friend who asked, how did you like Bride? And I was like, yeah, it's good. She's like, you think I would like it? I was like, no, don't read it.
Well, I think that's why I said I wouldn't recommend this book to people, because it's wild what we read. It was wild.
Yeah.
It was wild.
Okay. Well, sorry. This episode was a little unhinged. I think just some of the things that were more memorable with this book were just things that we didn't necessarily like. But we all rated this higher than a 3 stars. So
Yeah.
it's not a terrible book.
Yeah, 3.5 star average. That's not bad.
No.
I don't even think that's the lowest rated book we've had for this podcast for a book club book.
Well, and like I said,
No.
what did I say?
It was me.
Oh, like I said, I was entertained the whole time I read this book, but I still don't love it. But the fact that I read it as quickly as I did and it went by fairly quickly, that's like a good thing in my book.
Yeah. All right. Well, you guys can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at What She's Reading Pod, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Bye.